You decided you could do it better and you don't need a realtor to sell your home. Well, okay then. Here's 10 steps to sell your home quickly with the least number of issues during the home selling process. Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram. And if you have any specific questions or topics that you'd like to cover, just leave a comment below. The following steps can overlap and come in different orders depending on how the paperwork is processed, but overall, these are the steps you're going to need. Number one, determine your home's value. This step is what usually messes up a lot of people when they try to sell their homes themselves. It's hard to actually assess the value of your own home when there's so many memories and personal stuff attached to it. So it's easy to overvalue your home. But there's a few things you can do to overcome it. First, you can actually buy an appraisal. It's going to cost some money, but the appraisal is one of the most reliable methods for determining your home's value. Once again, it's going to cost some money. The other way you can do is get what's called a CMA, or comparative market analysis, from a realtor. And I'll even give you it as a freebie. So click the link below, put in your information, give me a day or two so I can pull comparable listings, and I'll give you an accurate evaluation and then email it back to you. No strings attached. Now you can determine what your list price is going to be. Do not overprice the home because it will sit on the market for months, which is just going to cost you more money. The money you are going to save by not hiring a realtor. Next, start preparing yourself for negotiations. I'm going to be honest with you. When a realtor sees that this for sale by owner, we lick our chops because negotiations are usually one-sided. So prepare yourself and determine what you want. For example, do you want the home to sell fast because you're on a timeline, or do you want the most value you can get on the home and are prepared to have it sell on the market for a while? Up to you. Step number 2 is going to be preparing your home. When you're preparing your home, this means taking care of any repairs that your home needs before you list it, which can cause unwanted delays during the process. Get a pre-inspection since you're selling it yourself, and it will give you more credibility when buyers come to look at it. Home inspections in California are at minimum $450, but it all depends on size and complexity of your home. Really consider performing minor improvements to boost your home's value, like replacing carpet, outdated appliances, and that kind of stuff, because it's just going to help you during the process. Some cost-effective home improvements that can really help the appearance of your home is like repainting walls, doors, and cabinets, replacing tarnished or beat-up hardware like cabinet handles, and replacing old light fixtures and light bulbs. And oh, do not forget to buy a shower curtain. Sounds self-explanatory, but you'd be surprised how many people forget about that. Step number 3, staging your home. So let me start by saying that staging is not a requirement for selling your house. But once again, you're up against the odds. And the impressions potential buyers will have makes it worth the money. I'm sorry, let's face it, most people just don't live the way a home should be shown. And you don't want your personal memorabilia to make it hard for potential buyers to see themselves living there. If you're currently living in the home, then you have to find ways to minimize clutter and distracting elements, like a bunch of personal family items and portraits and stuff like that on the walls. Make it so a buyer can imagine that they're living there. Stage your furniture so people can easily move throughout the home, and honestly, less is more. If you've ever been into a staged house, you'll see that it's usually very minimal furniture, which for you is going to suck because you live there. But that is a price you're going to have to pay in order to get top dollar for your home. Now, we've been focusing a lot on the inside, but let's not forget about curb appeal. What your home looks like when someone drives up is super important. It's the first impression. So mow your lawn, clean your windows, and if you're feeling frisky, even think about painting your front door. Believe it or not, that's a huge first impression for buyers. Step number 4, marketing your home. Marketing your home is another issue that really puts for sale by owners at a disadvantage. Traditionally, when you work with a realtor, you put your house on what's called MLS, or multiple listing service. Now, there are ways you can get it on there, but it's usually for a fee. So if you're hell-bent on saving money, your major marketing methods are going to be Zillow, forsalebyowner.com, and probably Facebook Marketplace. Remember, you have to get your home out there so potential buyers can see it. And a little tidbit fact that the majority of people moving to San Diego are from LA. So if you're only marketing your property through word of mouth and yard signs, you're never going to reach that demographic. If you really want to increase your marketing research, learn how to do social media ads and YouTube ads. As a realtor, even though we put our listings on MLS, we still put on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, because you just reach so many more people that way than just relying on MLS, Zillow, Redfin, and the major outlets. But I'm not going to lie to you. We do this all the time, so we know how to do it, but it's really hard and expensive at first. To put in perspective, most agents don't even do it because the learning curve is so high. But if you can think you can do it, have at it. Step 5, scheduling showings. So buyers want to see your home. Let me say that again. People are going to want to see your home before they buy it. So you have to figure out a way to schedule showings. I know it's going to be hard. You have work, you have kids, and all this stuff, but it's literally a prerequisite to selling your home. And not only do you have to do showings, the more flexible you are just scheduling these showings, the more likely your home will sell. Another tidbit of insider realtor information is that homes that make it difficult to schedule showing, whether the tenants in there or the owners make it difficult, these homes usually stay on the market a lot longer. So don't be that person. Step 6, begin negotiations. So you schedule some showings and now all of a sudden offers are starting to come in. You made it, right? No, the fun is just starting. You don't have to accept the first offer. And remember when I told you earlier to prepare for negotiations and define what you want out of this? Well, now is the time to put that in play. For example, like we talked about earlier, if your goal is to sell the home fast, then accepting the offer that is most likely to go through quickly is your best option, even if it's lower than other offers. However, if your goal is to get maximum value for your home, you'll have to be willing to wait for the best offers to come in. But offers are only the starting point. If the prospective buyer who offers something close to your goal, consider negotiating with them. Get closer to what you want instead of not accepting it because it wasn't perfect. There's rarely a perfect deal, perfect offer. So save yourself the time and just negotiate to get as close as you can. When negotiating, it's all about who has the power position. If you're getting multiple offers and there's only a few other homes in the neighborhood, and maybe you have some updated features or in a marketable location, then you have the upper hand and in the power position. On the other hand, if your home has been on the market for a while, or you have a complicated sale with existing liens or solar panel payments or something like that, and maybe you don't have any offers yet, then the buyer is in the power position and has the advantage. This brings me to another recommendation. Go to title while preparing your home and make sure there aren't any liens against your home. This will save you mountains of pain later. It's something that when you work with a realtor, we do automatically as soon as you get into escrow, if not before. Just some numbers so you can set expectations for yourself. On average, Fsbo homes, or for sale by owner homes, normally sell for 10 to 25% less than homes that were sold by an agent. I mean, let's face it, you're in an uphill battle. You're going to be negotiating with people like me who do this for a living. So you're more than likely not going to get the best deal or the best value for your home. So the initial 2.5% to 5% that you were trying to save, you're really potentially losing up to 25% of your home. But I digress. Step number 7, sign the necessary documentation. Once you accept the offer, you can move forward with the sale. This process can take several weeks because the buyer more than likely has to go through the mortgage approval process. Be sure to be available and respond quickly. This is the same advice that I give my clients. If you don't, you're going to drag the process out and potentially have the contract fall through. So I know you're trying to save money by not hiring a realtor, but one thing, and once again, you don't have to do this, but I highly recommend it, is consult with or hire a lawyer to ensure that you understand the purchase agreement and your rights under it. Your lawyer should also be able to help you understand what disclosures are required. If you miss or fail to disclose certain things like known damages or don't turn your HOA information or your CCNRs, you can get in a lot of trouble, expensive trouble. So save yourself the pain and just hire a lawyer and spend that money. Step 8, schedule inspections. Several people will need to access your house during the purchase process. Since you don't have an agent, you're responsible for organizing all of this. For example, you want to ensure the home inspector and appraiser have access to the house and all the necessary documents so they can give you an accurate assessment. Normally, these people work during business hours, which can be a conflict if you work during normal business hours. So you're going to have to figure it out because it has to happen and there's a timeline. If you don't meet that timeline, the deal could fall through. Step number 9, collect the necessary paperwork. Some of the paperwork you need to gather at some point for the sale to go through is title, like we talked about earlier, that shows there's no liens against the property, 2 forms of ID, copy of the purchase agreement and addendums, HOA information, closing statement, signed deed, HOA and covenants, mortgage payoff amounts, and tax returns. If applicable, you might also need to provide paperwork showing proof of repairs, copies of wills and trusts, and home inspection results. Step 10, close on the property. Once all the paperwork is in order and the buyer has obtained the necessary funds, you can move into the closing where you finalize the sale by signing the final sales contract and all the other closing paperwork. At closing, the funds will be transferred and the sale is complete. For closing, and honestly throughout the entire process, you might want to work with the title company and an escrow agent because they'll handle all the transferring of title and taxes and all that. So there you have it, 10 steps to sell your home yourself. Now, I definitely don't recommend it by any means, but if you're hell-bent on doing it, I'm here to help. Once again, click the link below for no obligation price analysis to get you started. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Don't forget, if you learned something, please like the video. If you found value, please subscribe. And always, if there's something specific you want me to cover or go more in depth on, just leave a comment and I'll knock it out. Till next time.